Hi there, it's getting close to Christmas, isn't it? You want to look glamorous, you want to look fabulous, and you want your makeup to stay in place. I'm makeup artist Daniel Sandler, and in this tutorial, I'll share with you my top tips and tricks on how you can keep your makeup in place for longer. Before you apply your foundation and concealer, make sure that you've got last night's makeup off. Any oily residue left in your eyelashes or on the surface of your skin will stop your makeup from staying in place. And consider as well the amount of moisturizer and eye balm you prep your skin with before applying foundation, because too many heavy layers under your foundation will just stop makeup staying in place. After applying foundation and concealer, the next thing I do is apply a little colour to my cheeks. Now I've got my shade Hot Toddy here. This is one of my watercolour bronzers, and I'm simply putting one little dot on the brush and sweeping that onto the cheek. This will add a wonderful depth of colour to my face. Now this isn't blusher, but of course you can use it as a blusher if you want a bit of a bronzy shade. Then Hot Toddy or Try Eternal, that's another shade that looks really, really good. Hot Toddy is darker than Eternal. Eternal is a little bit more transparent, yet bronzy as well. So that immediately adds a little bit of depth to my makeup. I'm going to also apply a little bit onto my eyelids. Reason being, I like to set my eyelids back a bit, because as I'm getting older, the skin is getting slightly saggy. It happens, doesn't it? So this color is great because it immediately knocks back that heavy lid look. You can see the difference. Not so nice, so much better. Repeat on the other side. Now I'm just using the brush, but of course you can use fingers with my watercolors. It's up to you. And that's straight on top of base and concealer that hasn't got any powder on. I want to create an eyeshadow magnet, and I want eye makeup to stay in place, and I want to stop oiliness coming through the skin, coming through the foundation and sort of disturbing any eye makeup. So I've grabbed my Invisible Veil blotting powder. It's a pressed powder, and I'm just going to sweep it on with my contour brush just to mattify the lid, set the makeup in place that's already on there, and that will create a wonderful matte but satin finish for me to apply eyeshadows on top. I'm going to be defining my eyes using a matte eyeshadow. This is one of my shades called Cedar, and this little shade goes straight onto the lid, into the socket area, to immediately make the eyes look bigger. A little bit of this goes a long way, but it's a really useful makeup artist's colour. It's one of those really nice taupey, nudie shades. I even use it through my brows. And as I said earlier, make sure that the formula of eyeshadow you use will really, really stay put. If you like shimmery shadows, make sure that there's not too much oil in them. And in fact, look for formulas that really stay put. Look for cream to powder, because they will be your best friend when it comes to getting something on your eye that stays put. I will be applying some of my watercolor on my eyes as well, just to show you how you can use them as a long-lasting multiple use product to add a little bit more sparkle and color. This is such a clever little tool I'm using. This is Ruby Hammer's magnetic brushes, and you can get them on danielsandler.com. What I love is that the brushes are soft and they're interchangeable. So you've got a really dinky little brush there that's good for smudging or concentrating eyeshadow to certain areas on the lid. And you've got a really lovely angled brush that's great for brows or getting really into those lashes and doing a nice little tight line with a gel liner or an eyeshadow or even a pencil. You could smudge that in. Really useful. Clever Ruby. Really, really nice. Now I'm going to apply another one of my shades, this time called Tornado. It's another matte shadow. and that goes straight into the socket. I'm just building up the depth and intensity of colour, going backwards and forwards. Keep cotton buds by you because they really help to clean up anything that looks a little bit grubby, or if your blending isn't brilliant. And we all make, the odd mistake. Little bits of eyeshadow can drop sometimes. These don't, but some do. And just keep that nice, smooth look with your makeup. Because smoother makeup that's really well blended will stay longer. So take your time. It'll really, really pay dividends. Defining eyes with pencil has never been easier, and my waterproof pencils absolutely lock in place once they're applied. They twist up, so there's no need for sharpening, and you simply just run it around the eye wherever you want to create definition. The nice thing is that this color, this dark brown, it's called brown velvet, thickens the look of lashes and defines eyes at the same time, and as I say, really locks into place to create a long-lasting, smoky defined finish. They don't drag the skin, so don't worry, you won't get that juddery line. Just go backwards and forwards to create a smooth effect. And then what I'm going to do afterwards is pick up Ruby's little brush, the tiny little brush, and go over the pencil to smudge that in and lock it, and really lock it into place. If you apply pencils straight onto the lid and you don't blend that first layer, they can creep. They can. Mine don't, but some do. So if you want to keep with your pencils that you've got, that's fine. Just really work it into the skin. And what you can also do to lock a non-waterproof pencil into place is apply a eyeshadow on top that completely matches the color, the shade of the pencil. Apply the shadow on top of the pencil, it will lock it into place. But these are great. These come in wonderful shades. I'm just going to keep it to the outer edges because my eyes aren't the biggest, and if I take pencil all the way through here, it can make my eyes appear smaller, which is not what you want. So it's just this outer edge. And then Ruby's little brush. That's the one there, that little one, cutie. Gently blend. Whenever I do this, I always think this is what Ruby does. This is what Ruby does. I'm sort of feeling my way as I do it. I'm going to give you a little tip now, and this is for those of you who want to create a bit of a smoky eye but find that they make your eyes look smaller. Well, take a pencil. This time I'm going to be grabbing my green velvet waterproof eyeliner pencil, and what I'm going to do is actually just run it halfway along inside the inner lower eye rim, and I'll show you what that does. It creates a smoky eye without closing the eye up. I'm going to come in just a little closer so you can see. And don't worry if you're a contact lens wearer. These pencils are really gentle and very kind, and they shouldn't irritate you. There we go, that's just half. Nice effect, huh? I like that little trick. I've chosen green because I really want to show you the difference and the contrast so you can really see where I've put the colour. If I'd used brown, this might not have stood out as much. But of course you can use brown, black, grey, blue, whichever. Another little trick I want to share with you for keeping eyelashes looking fantastic all night long is to take a black pencil. This is my waterproof black velvet pencil, and literally I'm pushing it into the upper eyelash line. I'm feeling my way along, but I'm pushing it into those upper lashes, right at the very root. So in effect, it's that inner waterline of the upper lash area. Going backwards and forwards. What this will do is it will give you a long-lasting, defined, soft line close to your lashes. So if you're someone who has possibly lost lashes, someone who has had lash inserts and they've pulled out your own lashes once they've fallen out and you've got gaps, then this is great because this will just give the appearance of thicker, longer, not longer, but thicker, fuller lashes. So again, it's all about gently defining the eyes and giving you that long-lasting finish. Curl the lashes. Where are my curlers? Here we go. Make sure the lashes are bone dry. Don't get any makeup in them. Don't get any greasy cleanser or eye creams in them, because your lashes will just not curl. Needless to say, waterproof mascara. I'm just using a nice cheap and cheerful one. If you happen to make a mascara boo-boo, as that can happen quite often, especially if you're rushing or someone jogs you, all you have to do is take a clean cotton bud, dip it in a little foundation or concealer, just a tiny bit on there, and simply just apply it onto the mascara blob, and it will remove the blob, as long as the blob hasn't been there for too long, so do it quite quickly, and it doesn't disturb the makeup underneath. So no licky, because that'll take off your makeup. Right, what am I going to do next? Here's my gorgeous watercolour in shade Icing. It's a shimmery, silvery pink. And what I'm going to do with this is take a little brush, put some on, brush up my brows, and before I define my brows, I'm just going to put some of this on here to give a nice soft highlight. Again, it's all long lasting. That's what you want with your makeup when you're partying. You don't want to have to keep checking your makeup when you're on the dance floor. You just want to have a good time. Now that is a couple of drops, but you can see with my watercolors, there we go. Lovely, I'll turn so you can see. Pretty. Some highlighters are so strong, aren't they, that you literally could see them from Mars. All right. I like that. That looks nice, that looks soft. Little in the inner corner. Again, shake, and as always, shake the bottle. Little drop. This is Icing. It's a shimmery colour. Pop a little bit just on that inner corner, just to catch a little light. And I'll use it later as a highlighter on my cheekbones. I like that. You can also, contour with it. Let me do a little bit of, whilst we're here. Why don't I put a little bit on my Cupid bow? The thing about highlighting lips is that it actually enhances your own lip line. Do you see that? It actually enhances your own lip line. I mean, dark pencils obviously define as well and help to even out lips. But lightening your lip as well is a great way to actually add some lovely highlights. Should I put some here? I haven't got the dinky little nose, so I need to be careful that my nose doesn't suddenly look massive, so I just need a little bit there. I'll use a little bit of darker contour on it in a bit. But you can have fun. Icing is so pretty. And just blend with your finger. Rightio. Right, so that was icing. So I've got Ruby Hammer's little angled brush here. That's my cedar eyeshadow. And I'm just filling in gaps and extending the line, making my brows look bushier and more defined. If you like using pencils on brows or brow putties or brow gels, just make sure that they do dry to a powder finish. Anything shiny or greasy will slide. And also they just don't look natural. And in certain lights, especially if you've got gaps or scars in your brows, that the pencil or the gel putty stuff will really show up if it is shiny. So go for matte every time. Just looks more natural. So just fixing my brows in shape using a clear brow fix gel. You can also use transparent, waterproof, clear mascara. Or what you can do, and this is a trick that Rachel Weisz once showed me, is spray a little Elnet in an old toothbrush and pop that through your brows, and that'll lock your brows in place. To frame my face and give myself just a little bit more contour, I'm grabbing my bronzing powder. Now this is a matte bronzing powder called Instant Tan. And what it will do is just add some warmth to my complexion. I've already got some hot toddy on there, but I use this one just to gently add a little bit of a glow, a warm glow, not a shimmery glow, like a warmth to my complexion. And I'm using my contour brush. This is highly water resistant, so don't worry if you're someone who gets hot, gets flustered, this will really stay in place. Always do ears. And if you are wearing a faux tan and your hair's up, remember to put some bronzer behind your ears and the back of your neck. This is such a good little trick. If, like me, you are getting a little bit of a saggy neck, darken it and take it down. If you're wearing a low cut top, always blend your makeup down so it looks seamless. You don't want it to appear like you've got a mask. Be a lovely pretty makeup mask, but still it will look like a mask. It'll be much more natural if you blend. So I'm putting that on top of my watercolor. This is a powder, but it's a very, very sheer powder. And what I'm going to do now is pop a little bit of color onto my cheeks. Now this is a very soft, pretty shade called Rose Glow. Because my makeup is quite, for me, it's pretty strong. So I don't want to have bright, bright cheeks and quite strong eyes, but your choice, you can do that. This is Rose Glow on my water brush. One little dot, and hopefully you'll see in the light, it just brings to life my cheeks. Has a lovely, soft, pretty glow to it. Barely there color, so if you like a barely there color, you will like Rose Glow. And of course on danielsandler.com there are so many different shades of lovely watercolor for you to choose from, regardless of skin tone. There's something for everyone, from illuminators, more natural matte shades, but that's Rose Glow. also looks very pretty. Where's that little eyeshadow brush? Okay, this is one of my own little brushes this time. Rose Glow, lips. Now I used, on the top of my lip, you'll remember I used icing, but this is not as cool. It's a warmer color. I'll show you what I mean. I'll put the two together. Rose Glow, icing, okay? So that's more shimmery reflectory. That is highlighted reflectory, but very soft, pretty color. Now, putting watercolor straight onto clean, dry lips is a fantastic lipstick magnet. You can put your own lipstick on top, or if you want to wear the color just like this, 2-3 layers, you're good to go. But look what happens. This one is now acid. This is a real pop of color pigment. Okay. Seriously bright. And I'm just putting this nice, huh? Smooth, long lasting, layered. Line lips if you want first, absolutely not a problem. If you absolutely love your lipstick, but you tend to find that it doesn't last long, I'll give you some tips here. Pop a little foundation on the whole lip surface, make sure that there's no lip balm underneath it. So foundation, pop some powder on top of that, line your lips, powder that, apply your lipstick, blot it, powder it, not too much powder, just a bit, and then apply another layer of lipstick and blot if necessary. Avoid glosses because they will creep, but if you absolutely love gloss, just contain it to the center of the mouth and just blend it out. So it's pretty, isn't it? That's acid on top of Rose Glow. And of course you can always blend and mix the watercolors together, whether you pop them on eyes, cheeks or lips. So you're totally good to go, and just be as experimental and have fun with watercolors, and they just don't let you down. If I did want to add a little bit more color to my cheeks, I'd probably add a little bit of this acid just there, but I kind of like the softness. For me, that's kind of enough definition on my cheeks and lips. And the last thing that I want to just show you is just, remember I mentioned my invisible veil blotting powder earlier? Well, I'm just picking that up again with my contour brush, and I'm just sweeping it over my makeup, but not on my cheeks. Watercolors don't need powdering. And don't worry if you are worried that makeup and powder are going to sit in your lines, especially if you're a little bit maturer, because invisible veil blotting powder is so finely milled. It's a transparent shade that suits every single skin tone. I've used it on Naomi Campbell. It works beautifully. It sets, it de-shines. If you're someone who runs around a lot, or you've got an oily complexion, keep it in your bag. It's fantastic. I like using the brush. It does come with a little sponge, but I find this brush, and a little bit goes a long way. You really don't need much, even though it looks like I'm putting on a ton. I'm really not. I'm just blending what's on there just to keep it looking nice. Definitely a makeup bag must have invisible veil blotting powder. So I hope you've learned some new tips and new tricks that will help you keep your makeup in place this Christmas. You can shop any of the products when you visit danielsandler.com, but cheers to you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your loyalty to me and my brand. and I wish you all the very best for a new year. So see you in 2022. Take care. Bye bye.